Nothing irritates me more than when couples break up that are on social media as a couple, posting together every single day, sharing their lives with us. And once they break up, they're like, we request privacy during this time. Nothing irritates me more than when couples break up that are on social media as a couple, posting together every single day, sharing their lives with us. And once they break up, they're like, we request privacy during this time. Girl, I don't give a fuck about your privacy. I need to know what happened, and you deserve to share that with us. Yes, I said deserve. You decided, okay, you picked up the camera and you decided to record every single day, every moment of your life with this person. And now, suddenly, I'm just supposed to move on and pretend like it never happened? No, that's the least that you can do. That's actually the least you can do, is make a video explaining what happened. And exactly what happened. None of that like, we separated. No, why did you separate? Me personally, I would never do that to my audience. I would tell them what happened. You chose this lifestyle, okay? You made the money. Don't talk about privacy now.
I agree. Listen, I was minding my business on this internet. You and the algorithm shoved your relationship down my throat. Now you think you can just break up and not tell me what happened? I am not nosy, but there are certain people that they literally shove their relationship down our throats. Like, you cannot avoid them. And then they break up and they pretend as if nothing happened. We should just move on with our lives. There was this couple. I was not looking for them. They were just always on my timeline. Always on my timeline. I broke down. I followed them. I was basically in their relationship with them for 2 years. Then they now broke up. They didn't tell us what happened. I was like, I cannot tell us what happened. But I accepted it. 4 months later, they got back together. They didn't tell us what led to their breakup. They didn't tell us how they came back together. They didn't tell us how they have resolved their issues. They came back together. I said, no problem. We continue. Another 6 months, they break up again, and this time they did not even announce it. Just very slowly, they started to withdraw from each other's social media, from each other's life. When they announced that, I said, wait, I've not heard from these people in a long time. And I went to their individual posts, and I saw one is living in America, one is living in Europe. I say, wait, you people broke up again and you didn't tell us? That is the height of disrespect. How can you break up and you don't tell us? No, but can you imagine the audacity? How can you start a relationship? You put it on the internet for all of us to see. Like, they'll come along with me. Let us go and do in vitro fertilization. I know who your gynecologist is. At this point, I am part of the family. So how can you break up and you don't tell me? Listen, if you're not ready to finish what you start, then not even start it.
So years ago, I used to watch couples online. I guess it was one of my go-to things to do because I liked doing that. It passed time and it was rather entertaining as well. So I cannot really say I was a fan. I was more of somebody who just liked it to be entertained from time to time by people who just want to show their relationships. And I think they were a known well YouTube couple, and they were also interracial. I think they were Nikki and this other guy, I forgot, but it was years ago. So I stopped watching them. I also stopped following them. I stopped even following interracial couples because what the hell? So years later, I found out that this couple also broke up. And I'm like, okay, what happened? They were like, no, we're requesting privacy and all of that yada yada nonsense. I was like, okay, you requesting privacy after sharing so much of your life online? Eventually, the husband came and told the story of what happened, but we never really got the side of what happened with Nikki though. It was always the husband more like presenting her in a negative light. And that was really the beginning of how I disliked interracial relationship. Because here's this white guy, right? Painting this black girl, because at the end of the day, it is what it is. There will be moments where people say that he would aggravate her, he would provoke her, knowing how she would react. So he's more entertained by this behavior that she does. And then he catches it on camera so that he can show it to the world. So that's a one-sided single story. So all we see is the reaction of Nikki and her husband, that she's more violent, she's more brute. She just doesn't know how to comprehend her emotions, basically. And I'm like, okay, my guy, why are you doing this to your wife? Why are you doing this? And it can also lead to another thing that says that white people have this fantasy about black people. And I don't really trust men. I don't trust them at all. Because how? How do you do that to the person that you call your wife, that you have kids with? I just don't understand. So you do that to your wife? You do that to your wife? At first I was like, okay, this is why I don't like interracial couples, because they would do anything for views. That's how I would see it, and I stopped watching them. There are literally under five couples that I really watched because I reduced them. I stopped following them because they started to bore me. They weren't as entertaining as it is. I guess this is why my TikTok channel does not focus on that. I focus on other things, mainly politics. I talk about that on my YouTube channel, and I don't want to follow anything that distract me from that. Of course, it's TikTok. I won't always see politics. I'll see other things, but mostly I come across politics because that's what I'm into. I'm trying to prevent this thing also of wanting to be with another person from another race, thinking that that's one of the things that's gonna solve problems. They're not. They're really going to be intensified. If it didn't work with a black man, just imagine what's gonna happen when you go to another person of a different race. Not only this person has a different race, this person has a different culture, has a different perspective, has a different view of life, has a different tradition. Everything about this person is completely different, and also their life experience is completely different from yours because they don't have the similar experience of yours. They may experience hardship, but not only do you experience hardship as a person of color, as a black person, you experience hardship because you're a black person. You understand? One of the main contributing reason, and I would say it's rather discriminatory than it is racism, is because, or even projections or prejudice, is because you are not experiencing hardship because you are Asian or white or whatever, Arab. You are experiencing racism, hardship, based on life presenting its own challenges, and your color of your skin is not contributing to that factor like it does with black people. Black people experience hardship of life like everyone else, and then not only that, it finds its way to be intertwined with their own race. So I have to deal with the hardship of life. I had to deal with the fact that I am a black person existing in a place that does not want me to exist. So I don't want interracial relationships. And even if whatever higher power would give me a man in the future, I'll pray that it gives me a man who has done so much internal work, because I don't have the time to be teaching people things that they can learn right now. We live in an age of information. I want you to teach yourself. I want you to understand and broaden your horizon, okay? Because that's something people don't do. They become lazy and they expect you to teach them. So even if I do get into an interracial relationship, which is highly unlikely because I'm very selective, I hope this person does internal work and they're really conscious of things that happen to us. They're like really conscious, and they're willing to fight along my side for things of my own community. Because you're gonna have kids with me, and your kids are gonna come into this world as black people. That's how they're gonna see them. They're gonna see them as black kids. They're not gonna see them maybe half Asian. They're not gonna see them maybe half white. Maybe they would see that they're mixed with something, but the main purpose is that they're incorporated with me, my bloodline. They're not going to be lenient on them, okay? In fact, they're gonna have hardship. They're not gonna fit anyway. They're not gonna fit in the white community. They're not gonna fit in the black community. So those are the things also that you need to consider when you go interracial as well. But I think that people are so selfish. People have become selfish. They really want to cleanse themselves of their own race. They don't want to be who they are. They're selfish enough to do that to their kids, where it creates racial confusion, where it creates this identity crisis which happens with interracial kids. I guess also that's one of the reasons as well that I stopped watching them, especially interracial couples. I would rather watch couples of people of my own group, black people. But at the same time, even that, I don't watch them. They bore me because people would do anything these days for view. People are not authentic. I only watch less under 5 and that's just about it. I'm not doing anything else other than that.